Awesome.
Right, I'm ready.
Yeah, and the best thing is because we're, recording this, so this will be like a movie with a silver jubilee, you know. Uh, that's
Like a
what
little movie. Yeah,
great.
absolutely. And then and I'll leave room because I'm gonna lean on you, Chris, and I'm just gonna keep asking questions and asking questions, digging and digging and digging. And you know.
I have a narrative ready with your questions, your bullet list, my journey into the CPA world, the growth of my company,
Yeah,
the
that's
pain
it.
points I've experienced, how Cloud IT supported me in my time of need. I have all that ready to go. And then I'm going to share my screen with my basic workflow that I use. I have a lot of that. I think that's going to be really important because I do things, my own way. And I use the task manager, but also the workflow spreadsheet that I have. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't link those two, but you'll see I have some good highlights in there with colors and, just to give people some more information. Um, yeah, I think it'll be good, but I'm going to go over, like I said, the history from when I first started my IBM personal computer business at 15, when the PC first came out in 1981. It's very exciting. I
Great.
lied to IBM and said I was 18 and got a vendor license with them. So
Oh man, yeah, I can't wait to hear all about this. This is more exciting for me than I think everybody else. so, so I can't wait.
when I was about 13 or 14 when the apples came out, so I was buying them in bulk and putting them together and selling them to schools, and they were out before the IBM PC to 5150. So we did a lot of that on my mom's. You guys will Marty will remember. Do you remember back in the early 70s, Marty, the Wang word processors?
Sure.
The black boxes with the little screen. So my mother's garage and shed was full of those because I was replacing them with all the IBM PCs in 1981. I had rows and rows of them. But guys, before the IBM had a very popular typewriter, the Selectric in the 60s, and then Wang came out and they actually put a little screen with a little memory, so a typist could type things in but not print it yet, and sort of watch it on the screen and then print it. So the IBMs went out the window, and then the PC came, and all the lawyers got rid of all those Wangs, all the doctors and the professionals, and they got all the new PCs that were the hot thing coming out. But I'm just old now. That's why I know these things.
The Wangs were the standard of the 70s. Before there was Microsoft Word, there was the Wang machines, and they had those MAD cards that used to feed into them.
Yeah. It was really futuristic that you could type and not have to see the ball push on the paper. That's the first thing I recall, that it was the first memory of some kind. So it was really neat. I still have a few of those at my mom's house. I kept one of everything I've ever done. So all the apples I did and the PCs I did, and we used to do back when the modems first came out, the little 1200 baud modems, you see them in old movies with the creaking noises. So what happens is the financial guys that I used to work with when I was younger, they would get the information faxed or streamed to them, and then we would get a faster modem, but they usually were like Russian or Chinese bootlegs. Had to go to Port Elizabeth and get them off the boat, and then we'd have to hardwire them, so my clients had a better advantage because it was twice the speed. So it was old school, but it was a power play. And there was no plug and play back then. So
So
you had to
you
do all jump, you had to hardwire the boards and solder things, and it was a real Frankenstein, but it was a lot of fun at the time. I made
Awesome.
35 an hour when I was 15, so
You
I
definitely
was very
did.
popular with the ladies.
look,
All right, guys. As you guys come on in, we're going to get started in about 1 minute. I see you guys kind of trickling in. We're going to get started in 1 minute. 1 minute. Just letting you know. Sorry. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Martin. You were saying something to him.
I was just saying it's just an example of the advantage of using good tech and being a little ahead of the curve. This is like from throughout Chris's entire career. Uh, it's it's amazing what I remember that fax noise, modem connection noise, and The 1200 was a fast modem. That was an upgrade from the 300 baud modem.
Exactly. And then when the Chinese 2400s came out, they weren't approved. They weren't like FCC approved. So we had to get them like out of containers, out of people's trunks up in Newark, and meet them in a clandestine location. And so my financial guys, they were getting financial data, from the stock exchange. So the faster the modem was, the more advantage they had.
Yes.
So that was fun. And most people didn't know how young I was when they were doing business with me. I said, I just turned 18. I looked like I was about 12, I think.
All
It's
right.
all
We're good. We're good. All right. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the webinar for workflows. This is a workflow webinar for all CPAs and accountants. I am Steve. They call me Steve, the finance guy, for many reasons. But today we are 100% focused on helping CPAs during this time and really helping them manage their workflows of their business. Is an exciting time right now for a lot of CPAs and accounting firms, because this is the time where you guys, this is tax time. This is the most important time. This is the crunch time. This is what we live for, right? And so so we wanted to put something out really soon, right before it starts, just to help you guys along the way, and then learn kind of how Cloud IT helped a lot of these firms. And we have a special guest today, that is not only a guest but a partner. And so his name is Chris Whalen, CPA. He has grown his business to do millions, and he has grown his business to do thousands of tax returns every single year. And we're going to learn exactly how he does it and how he uses Cloud IT. But the most important thing is we have to understand why you're here, right? So if you're here and you're a CPA, then you're interested in workflows. It's important to you. You are tired. You are 100% tired of being that CPA that everything kind of flows through you. And you got some things going over here. You may have some things in Google. You may have some things in Excel. And you really want that automated system that you heard about so much from all these different people, but you just do not know how they got it done. So we're going to give you an example of how we do it, right? How we do it for my company. I own an accounting firm. How we do it for Chris' company, and then later on we'll learn about the other companies and the partners inside and how they do it as well. So we're going to bring in Chris Whalen. Chris, welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's doing great. Just before the storm, I just want to say that these plants that I got back here, they don't need a lot of water, but they still look great. So
awesome. So it was so Chris, as we talk, I want to really understand first how you got started. I know we're going to dig into the workflows that everybody want to know, but I really want people to know and understand exactly who are we talking to. Who is Chris? How did he get here? How did he become this amazing CPA that was on Fox News and the one that everybody's loved? This charismatic accountant and tax professional. Where did it start? Where did your entrepreneurship journey start?
well, yeah, this might be a minute or two, but I think it's worth it. So where did my journey into the CPA world begin? Well, when I was 15, the first IBM personal computers came out, and that was 1981, and was long before Windows, which came out in 85. So no mice, just a blinking cursor on a green screen. So I started an IBM personal computer company out of my mom's garage. I got a vendor license from IBM and sold computers to lawyers, doctors, and all local businesses and nonprofits. So being an entrepreneur, though, I got very interested in accounting. So I took accounting classes in high school and studied computer programming on my own time. So upon high school graduation, I went to work for a large insurance company as a mainframe programmer, knowing they had tuition assistance, which meant hard work, but zero student loans. So I went to college as a computer science major, which made sense. I really was going to be on a computer programming, computer hardware track, I thought, and have some kind of company. But I wanted to minor in accounting, but that was not possible. So I double majored in it. So again, I only was taking accounting as I thought it would help me run my businesses, not for a career. Upon graduation, though, I went to work for a medium-sized CPA firm, still doing PC work on the side. I went to work there because I would get exposure to many businesses instead of just one large corporation or a big 8 accounting firm. So I thought that would give me, I might find the business I'm interested in. And I heard that a lot of companies poach their CFOs from the CPA firms they hire. So I passed the CPA exam that November. And after first tax season, though, my first tax season, I was hooked. I realized I wanted to run a full service tax accounting and business consulting firm with a technology base. Why run one company when you can help run hundreds? And I had my last W-2 in 1993. So talk about the growth of my company. My growth was a little faster than
Wow.
most. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steve.
No. You said a lot that I kind of want to dive in on this like a little bit. I like it. I think when I hear what you've done with the double major and everything, and you said you had your last W-2 since 1993. I don't even want to share how old I was in 1993.
Please, I used to babysit Steve. That's how old I am.
Right, right. Where did so I want to tap into the emotion of where you were in 1993 when you had your last W-2. How were you feeling emotionally? Like where I know you got your story. How were you really feeling? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Was you
Well, I was married at the time with a baby. I had one baby and one on the way.
Yeah.
But I knew I had a good computer base of clients, but
Mhm.
like I went to my mom and asked advice, and she goes, is there anyone else running a CPA firm successfully? I said, yes. She goes, then you can do it better.
Wow, that's it right
So
there. That's it.
I don't, I think really it's an aversion to having one paycheck. So can I tell you a quick story about why I want to be an entrepreneur? The
Absolutely.
base.
That's what I wanted. That's what we
So
want to
my
hear.
father, the reason why I got into computers and I was able to meet with IBM so quickly, my dad worked for Colgate-Palmolive. He was a VP of computer systems there, and they were an IBM shop. So I grew up in Queens, New York. My dad brought home a paycheck one day when I was 10, and he showed me what the paycheck was and what the net pay was, and that's when I learned, oh, that's where money comes from. That's how we pay for things. But I said, Dad, we had 6 kids in a Roman Catholic family. I said, well, how many of those do you get a week? You can't just get one because, we'll be on the street. And he said, well, I only can get one. So my grandfather lived across the street. He had a fruit and vegetable business. So he sent me across the street. He had 8 little receipts and coins and checks. I said, oh, you got paid 8 times this week. He goes, no, that was today. And so my whole life is because I have an aversion to having income from only one source. I need to have more than one. And so that's
Man,
even my daily goal. I wake up, that's what I want. I want one more boss. So I can fire another boss I don't like during the day if I don't like them
I
anymore.
love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so you got your W-2, you started your CPA firm. How did
Right.
how
So
did we get here?
1987, so I was lucky because I did get to convert some of my computer clients to tax clients. So that helped me a lot. I had about 1 or 200 or 300 computer clients. So I got a lot of them to let me do their taxes. So in 1987 in college, I did 10 tax returns, simple W-2s. And with Sam's help in 2024, I'll do 1,000 plus returns, but businesses, high net worth people, very complex, but very profitable returns. And we also have hundreds of outsourced CFO services clients paying monthly retainers, do specialty work during slower times, forensic, criminal, M&A work. I think that Steve wanted to know what are the pain points. So this is very important. Most important part of what I'm going to say today is what are the pain points? Always staffing, number one.
Good.
Without confidence in staffing, there is no growth, only anxiety and desperation. Even the best interviewer skills cannot guarantee a new employee can perform as expected and fit within your culture. So that's number one. Number two is collections, of course. I had to learn to be hard nosed. Work does not go out until I'm fully paid. I was naive when I was younger, trying to be a good person, and I lost a lot of money that way, not collecting before I delivered. And the next question is, how did Cloud IT support me in my time of need? Right, Steve? Is that next?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So
Let's do it.
about 5 years ago, I noticed a lack of seasoned and experienced tax preparers and managers responding to job listings. I pay top dollar, so that wasn't the problem. I had been managing my growth very carefully, but this staffing issue could have curtailed that. That is when I started a year-long process of researching other options, remote staffing and professionals being what I found best to fit my needs. But I was extremely skeptical, as many of you may be. There's this dogma out there, which I was suffering from. I said, there's no way that I could use a remote worker who's not sitting in my office. And, boy, was I wrong. But uh, none of them impressed me until I spoke with Sam of Cloud IT. The good thing about Sam that's important, Sam is a true entrepreneur first, which is rare. He's not just running a business. Those are two different things. We all will know that. So in 2024, Cloud IT will process over 1,000 returns for me. Without Sam, my growth would have stalled as I just couldn't find enough seasoned CPAs to hire. And I would never push and stretch my current staff to make more profit. That's always a disaster. So the other thing to talk about are the benefits. So there's a multitude of benefits here with Sam and Cloud IT. Number one, pre-vetted expert workers willing to learn my entire system and fully integrate as if they are here with me. That's even if you didn't save any money, which of course you will, getting that and having that assured makes you sleep at night. I would still pay what I'm paying now, right? So for example, my Cloud IT team, they use my workflows, my manuals, and my systems, just as my other staff does in perfect symmetry. The next benefit is savings, payroll, wages, payroll taxes, benefits, retirement contributions, all of that. There's a multitude of savings and high percentages, 10, 20, 30, 40% at times. Number three, peace of mind. Cloud IT is my HR department for the staff they provide me. And try to understand that you never have to directly interview anybody ever again for these positions. You have no unemployment, no office drama, no attitudes. My staffing needs are planned for and fulfilled with little input from me up front. Cloud IT has a flourishing culture of its own, which enhances my office. Number five, I have instant scalability. I could suddenly get 10 prior 1120s to do, and I know we're going to get it done within a 2-week time frame and be on time without a problem. So if you're listening to this and you don't have that ability to scale, what would you do if you got such a large project coming in? What kind of timeline? So we have access to scale, which is one of the most important things to me. Number six, I never worry about on-time delivery. I've never been, maybe 99% of the time, working with Cloud IT as if they're in my office. Everything's perfect. We have on-time delivery. Maybe once or twice a year, I don't deliver on time. My motto is no one is waiting for me. My goal every day is to never get a call that says, Chris, you were supposed to have my tax return last night, end of day, where is it? That's a failure. So that might happen twice a year, and most likely my fault, not Cloud IT's fault. And the other thing about using Cloud IT, and of course I am a big customer of theirs, please remember, a big plus is special projects that we all get. And this can expand your offerings. If you're not offering special projects now, you can. For example, we do a lot of forensic analysis for criminal cases, for M&A, for succession planning. They can help with all that. A lot of diligent work of reviewing years and years of bank statements, for example. Tax research, very, very specific things they can research for me. They could do multi-years of bookkeeping, multi-year prior returns. Imagine you don't have this help and availability in your office right now, and you have to do 8 years of bookkeeping. What will you do? You might not be able to get it done, which is a failure. So that's all that I really wanted to say, and all the categories that Steve had given me. But I'm definitely here for any other questions right now.
Yeah, for sure. I think I want to ask you some a few questions about kind of like how Cloud IT kind of benefits what you do in terms of your workflow and your staffing. How if you was to have a workflow and have staff, what is the difference between having remote work? Has it benefited you more in your business using remote work? Because that's something that a lot of people kind of
I don't like thinking of it. I don't like thinking of it as remote. It's so integrated. So my Cloud IT staff are as if they're in cubicles next to me, as if I hired them personally, and they fit in perfectly with my workflow, as if they were the level of staff member they are. So they're a senior tax reviewer. they're sitting right in the workflow where the senior reviewer would be.
Good.
There's no reason to think of them as not working next to you. That's the beauty of it. That's why that's where they're the one I picked, because I have no worry where they are, where they're working, and they seamlessly will integrate into my culture and my workflow.
How has it impacted your clients? Have your clients had any trouble? Have you did you have to talk to them about it? Was there anything they had to sign?
No, not at all. They understand that I do use remote workers. I am always divulge that, of course, honestly. But
Awesome.
my work product is just as pristine as it ever was. So that's the telling tale, right? That's that the work, they're doing the same level of review of my work, everything that I get done for comparisons, everything that I might need done. Again, a lot of times it's thought of as a remote worker just given some simple returns, or they're just doing something extra, filling in. Absolutely not. They get my most complex work, my easiest work. So that's the main thing to remember here. Don't think of it as a remote worker. You're getting a Class A CPA tax preparer or reviewer to work in your office within your system, and I never think of them as any more than 5 feet away from me.
Mm-hmm. Would you be willing? I'm not sure if I'm putting you on the spot here. Would you be willing to show your workflow?
Sure.
Is that something that I don't want to put you on the spot, but I do want to
No,
have
I have it already. I think it's
Okay,
important.
okay. I love it. Can you share your screen? Are you okay, good. And
You
if you're
see that
looking
now?
at it, guys, I'm gonna let Chris take over and just kind of explain his workflow and the way that he does his tax returns and through CLOUDIT. So I'm excited, guys. Let's hear this.
Well,
I need this for my business.
the overview is sometimes workflow or task manager systems try to do too many things. So I really have two separate systems that are running in tandem, one for high level, which I need to see, and one for details. So if you look at this spreadsheet here, every time I get a tax return in-house, I make another tab. Can you hear me?
Yep, I just muted someone. You're good.
Okay, great. So I have a spreadsheet like this for every return that might come in. Might seem a little antiquated, but I like this screen. It gives me one static thing to open up quickly. I search for the name in my spreadsheet. I find it instantly. So I have this screen here, which I'll go through some important items in it. And I also have the task manager, which really is the heart of processing. That's the manufacturing side. That's the, okay, so we have Timmy and Tina Jenkins here, 1040. And we start putting in, we create this blank spreadsheet for them template, and we start to fill everything in. And then here we have basically the workflow. Now, if you see here, assigned to and completed by, this is very important. You'll see that Cloud IT or Cloud IT Review, those are Cloud IT staff. They're only involved in 10 to 20% of the steps, just as if someone's in your office would be who's a preparer. That's important to remember is you need to really, if you haven't documented your workflow, you need to do that, because when you hire us and we want to implement things, we need to make sure we seamlessly integrate with what's working for you already. We're not going to try to that's very important to remember. So just a simple list. I know it doesn't seem too involved, but it's good for us to know what dates we've requested information. I want you to see this line here. So when the information's received, that come in, it'll come in paper form. We scan it, it can go into the portal, and then it's entered in the task manager. Now, the task manager is a separate system that's tracking just the processing of the returns. So that's important. So I usually have that screen open on the side when I want to see the nuts and bolts of what's happening. But at my level, I don't need to see that. The staff's working with my staff, Cloud IT. They're getting questions answered. If you look here in 5 and 6, data entered and reviewed, you see the green here. So this is where a lot of the production is. And that's Cloud IT and my staff working together to get questions answered, get the return reviewed and finalized, and then it comes back to me. And what's good about this is that I have Cloud IT makes all my PDFs, right? They make my tax returns, my estimates, any notes, any schedules, and they leave that in a special folder for me. So now my admin staff is ready to create the email to go out. So it's perfect. my staff. So Cloud IT says it's reviewed. I do some final high level review. You see the manager review here, Chris Whalen could be one of my tax managers here. And then we give it to an admin to send to the client with the invoice. But Cloud IT has made the perfect package ready for us to grab and attach it to the email. We have all the numbers. We have a routing sheet. It's perfect. What's owed, what's not, what's the SEP IRA, what's a solo 401k. So once Cloud IT gives it to us reviewed, and then we do another cursory review, then we're ready. Then it's out of their hands completely, and now it's all my office working on what they normally do, as all my admin will do anyway. And then we have the rest of the steps that we normally do. But
now, Chris, can
I'm
I ask you?
sorry,
Can I ask you a question? And I think this is probably the most important, one of the most important questions. Why even hire Cloud IT? Like, why did you feel like it was absolutely necessary to go with Cloud IT versus hiring someone else? You would in your firm.
Listen, if you have unlimited access to price sensitive and cost effective professionals to do your work, and you want them to work in your office, well, then that's fine. But don't forget that I have Cloud IT staff. I'm not paying rent for their space.
That's it.
So that's number one. But if you, many firms have trouble finding talent. And I'm not saying to not hire someone locally that can work for you, but if you're looking to grow into scale, especially in our market we have where so many people are retiring, it'd be almost impossible to give quality work product today if you want to grow and scale correctly and do it the right way. I could not do it, and I have a known firm. I get people wanting to work for me, but the amount of people that I need on a regular basis, I just don't have access to them, and Cloud IT has them at the ready constantly for me. So there's no negative at all. But if you can find local people to come work in space, and you want to house those people every day and pay rent and utilities for them, then that might be the way you go if you're not comfortable. But at this point, I could come upon I just got a large group. There's 10 companies. So I have a large manufacturer and construction concern with 10 separate fully functioning entities. And so, yes, I need to hire a full-time person for that now, or I can call Sam and say, Sam, let's start interviewing candidates, and within 3 weeks we'll have someone in place. So Sam is pre-vetting. He's my HR system 99% of the time, and there's no extra charge for that.
I love it, and I think that's what you just stated was one of the number one reasons why CPA firms struggle, is they don't understand the talent acquisition. And then a lot of times the way that we get clients is it comes out of nowhere, right? And then so how do you find, if you do get 10 companies, if you do get 3 companies, if you do get clients that say, hey, I'm ready now? Because most of the time when companies come to you, they're usually ready right now, right? And so they usually, it's very rare, and Chris, you can back me on this if I'm telling the truth. If I'm lying, just be quiet. It's very rare that you will find a client who is proactive in their approach when it comes to taxes, accounting. Is usually when things are a mess. And it's almost the straw that broke the camel's back. And they're like, listen, I gotta find somebody. I done did this on my own way too much. I gotta find somebody who's the best. And they go searching for somebody who's the best, because what happens when you're the best, you're also busy. So then if you're the best and you're busy, how do you find talent? How do you find talent that fast? How do you find talent who you trust? And I think what CLOUDIT has done for us is provide us with enough over a historic period of time of hiring from their team, and be able to say, hey, just like Chris said, I need somebody in 3 weeks to learn this, a talent. So what do you say to that, Chris?
No, I agree. This is anxiety for clients. It's almost like a marriage. If their accountant's screwing up, it's like you have a spouse that's screwing up. You want to give them another chance because It's too much anxiety thinking of switching, even in the face of disaster. So no, you're 100% right. One point I want to
Good.
make that's important is that talk about why go with CLOUDIT instead of hiring locally. Well, can you imagine getting a pool of excellent employees to work for you, where the culture is homogenous from a business perspective, not a human culture perspective, and so everyone is vetted for personality and agreeable nature and working within the culture. So everyone you get from CLOUDIT comes in exactly the same way. Can you imagine if you had 10 people you're going to hire at the same time, and you know that their mentalities are the same, their dispositions are the same, their feelings about life are the same,
That's
their
it. That's
extraordinary,
it.
their exuberance to work is the same. So I can't tell you how that across the board, they're old school business people like it used to be. No drama, no complaints. They appreciate. So that's number one. Imagine I had 4 people to hire, and if I could get them all to be on the same page culturally, corporate culturally, I mean, can you imagine you could do that? I would pay $1 million for that. To know that there's no cross culture problems, personal, human,
That's it.
or
That's
business
it.
culture. So the benefits are, again, I have a lot of possible options what I do, and I will, like I said, I do hire some people locally when I need them, but when it comes to getting the high level work done, even now, that's Sam and I are a unit now for many years, and it's brought me nothing but peace of mind, quality of work, and savings. I say savings last because that's the last important one. My quality of work has been increased since using Sam.
Awesome.
I mean, I don't know what else. So I know my profitability is up, but my delivery is as good or better. My quality is top notch, better than ever because of the professionals that Sam has given to me.
And that's really the biggest thing, right? So when you think about any industry and business, most of the time to increase your profitability, you have to jeopardize some version of quality, right? And so that's like a known fact to where like in businesses, you almost gotta, it's like it feels like it's like the ultimate test for business owners that they have to make that decision, right? Do I want to cut the fat, right? No pun intended, because I've gained a couple weights over
You just talk
the
about
years.
it's peace of mind.
That's it.
So
That's it.
I'm not worried about employees coming and going. I'm not worried about all that or Cobra insurance. I have complete peace of mind when it comes to my HR. I don't know anyone. There's no one that has my peace of mind in my local CPA community like I do. They wonder why I'm smiling all the time. Why I don't worry about tomorrow. I do not have personnel worries. I'm about to start tax season, and I've never been more relaxed in my entire life because of
That's
Sam.
it. Come on. That's it. That's the liner right there. That's the liner. We just everything we just said. I think if we just cut that one, we did it. And so I only wanted to take a half an hour and really kind of dig into Chris and everything that he's done. I'm 100% grateful to call him a partner in cloud IT, not only a partner, a mentor for me and myself in my business. So I've learned just as much as you have, guys. We have a few people on. If you guys have any questions, Danielle, nice to meet you. Render, nice to see you. If you guys have any questions for Chris, we can definitely ask him now. If not, it's 100% totally fine. I think that this was webinar. I hope this webinar was extremely informative. You can type your questions in the chat. I'll give you a few minutes to type it in the chat and see what we can answer. But I think one of the things for us that's super important is to understand that CLOUDIT is here to support your business, and we're going to keep letting people know the great work that we do, and using more businesses to explain, right, and show you guys real test studies, real businesses. These are the people that wake up every day and work on their business just as much as you do, and they have the same pain points as you. And so we found a solution in CLOUDIT, and we want to share that with you. So I'm looking for, let me see in the chat. I don't see anything. So Chris, I don't want to hold up your evening. I don't want to hold up anybody else's. I appreciate you being here. This was a very successful webinar and understanding the workflows of tax workflows, how you became successful, how you became who you are. what do they call you? Is it New York or New Jersey?
I'm in New Jersey.
New Jersey. That's it. I can hear the tone. We don't play with them guys. They don't play with us.
I know if I go west of the Mississippi, people think I'm Tony Soprano's brother. That's the
That's it. That's it. I believe it. Oh, okay. Wait. We said Chris. We do have one. Chris, how do you manage the client-facing aspect effectively?
Well, I mean, my staff in the office, we do all the face-to-face, me and the other managers, you know, there are some times where CLOUDIT will, you know, give messages in the portal back and forth for information that might be needed. But when it comes to phone calls and face-to-face Zoom calls, it's always someone in the office. Now, I would have no trouble with someone from CLOUDIT doing that, but we have it handled that CLOUDIT doesn't have to talk to them really directly. They message them, and then when it gets to the point where it's reviewed, then we take over and we start doing the face-to-face for client questions at the high level and getting the return e-file.
Absolutely. And I can say the same thing, Danielle, for my clients. CLOUDIT has 100% been the perfect back-end support team for me. And to be honest, they prefer it that way. Right. They enjoy being the true accountant that we, like Chris said, back in the good old days, right? They enjoy that. And so it really allows you more time to do more front facing and talking and hand holding in a business where there isn't much hand holding anymore, right? Because a lot of these business owners need it. They need to understand. They need to ask questions, and it's very tough to answer. You know, I know you've been there, where it's very tough to have consultations and you know, answer questions and be with people when you have to do all the work. And so
I find one thing. Some might say, well, the CLOUDIT employees are not doing face-to-face. I might have had that, but the reason why I like that is it forces me and the managers to really know what's happening. You know, because when you rely too much on the line workers doing all the face-to-face and they're paying you good money, the clients, if you sound like you're not up to speed on the account, that's terrible business, right? So I find that this has made me even more aware of the work that I have to do or to delegate the face-to-face time with someone working on site in the US. But it's fantastic. It's like I said, I couldn't have imagined. Like, I know that I could grow another 10% this year without any problem. And with the quality and with calmness and serenity. So anyone out there who wants to grow, remember, you don't understand psychologically that if you don't have the ability to do work and scale, you're not going to be looking for it. And people can tell that. People can tell that. Like, people meet me, they think I'm ready to take on 1 million new clients tomorrow. So remember, so if you have apprehension, if you're not sure you can scale and grow and keep your quality, you need to talk to CLOUDIT. There's no doubt about it, because people can tell you're not confident enough to take on work. Entrepreneurs can smell it.
They absolutely can. We can smell it a mile away. 100%. Well, I appreciate it. I'm gonna drop a link for you, Danielle and Render, inside here, and you can schedule a demo with Sam. And please do introduce yourself. We would love to hear from you when you schedule the demo. I would love to meet you. And so yes, welcome. So let's end it here. Chris, you were amazing. You know, they were able to see your story, learn everything from you, and we're going to do a whole lot more of these. I think this was beneficial.
Great.
All right, guys. You guys have a blessed one. Enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.